All right, in this video, we're going to talk about cards. Now, cards is basically a new concept in Bootstrap 4 from version 3. In version 3, we had something called a well, which was basically just some padding with a border, so it was like just like a block. And then we also had panels, which were like wells with headers and footers. So now we have cards, which is kind of a mix of both, and you can do some really cool stuff with images and background colors, things like that. Now, the simplest type of card would be just like a simple block. So we have this text right here. It's wrapped in two divs, and the first div I'm going to give a class of card, and the second div I'm going to give a class. Actually, let's see what just card does. If we do that, we'll save, and it basically just gives it a border. We can check it out if you want. So if we look at what card gives us, let's see. So position relative, it actually displays as a flex box in the column direction. Background color is white by default. We have border radius. And then inside here, we'll give it a class of card body, which at one time, I think it was Bootstrap 4 Alpha, was card block. Okay, that's why I call it a block, because it is kind of a block. It's just basically, just a border with some padding. If we look at card body, that's where, let's see, card body, where are you? Right here. So it's basically, it adds flex 1 or 1 auto. It also adds padding. So that's the simplest version of a card. Okay, so let's go down here to a simple card, not as simple as just this block, but a pretty simple card. We'll add the class of card, and I'm just going to add a style attribute here so that it doesn't go all the way across the page. If we make the page wider, I'm just going to set the width to 20 rems, and then we want our card body class just like we did above. Okay, now notice we have an H4 here. We also have a class of card title that we can use. Okay, obviously the title isn't mandatory. I mean, we just did it above, but we can use card title. And then we can also have a subtitle. So here I have an H6, which I'll give a class of card-subtitle. Again, it's optional. And then let's add text muted to make it a lighter color. And then the paragraph here, I'm actually going to give a class of card text. So cards have a lot of different classes associated with them. And then we just have this A tag. I'll turn this into a button. So we'll say BTN primary. Actually, let's do outline primary and save. And there we go. So we have a simple card with a title, a subtitle, the content, and a button. Now we can also do a card with an image. Notice I already have the source of the image. I'm using the Unsplash service, which is really great for generating like random images of any size. So we're going to give this div a class of card, and the image we're actually going to give a class of card-img-top. Okay, and then this div here, this is going to be the card body. So the image comes before the card body. Try to remember that. That kind of confused me for a little bit. And then we'll add our card title, our text, and let's give this a class of BTN. We'll do success. And let's also make this a block level so it goes all the way across, and save. And there we go. So we have the image and then the title, the text, and the button. Okay, so good for like blog posts, things like that. We can also have a card with a header. So what I'm going to do is copy the simple card. Actually, let me see, what do we have down here? No, we'll just fill this in. So we'll give this a class of card, and then we have a div underneath where I'm going to give a class of card-header, and then this div here will be the body. So you can see there's a lot of customization that you can do with these cards. So this will be card text, and let's do BTN danger, and save. And now you can see that this card has a heading. Okay, and this actually looks like the old Bootstrap 3 panels. Let's see. So we can also do headers. We can also do footers, and we can also center the content if we want. So let's go ahead and add a class of card header, card body, card title, card text, and we'll make this a button, so class BTN, we'll do dark, and then this here, this div, we can actually give a class of card footer, and let's do text muted. And then if we want to center it, we'll do that. Actually, we'll do that up here in this first div. We'll just say text center. We've already looked at these alignment classes. So now we have a card that has a header, a footer, and you can see that everything is centered. Okay. So next thing we'll look at is a card with navigation. Now the navigation isn't necessarily going to work. You'd probably want to add some JavaScript to it, but just to show you that we can create that in the UI, we're going to do div class card, and then this will be the card header. And then inside the card header, we have a UL where we can add a class or a couple classes. We want to use a nav here. So we'll say nav-tabs, card header tabs. And then for the list items, just like with the navigation, it'll be nav-item. And then, of course, the links will be nav link. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just copy that. All right, and then down here, this div, this is actually going to be the body. Okay, then we have the title. Text, and we'll add a button class, and save. And this is what it looks like. So we basically have these tabs up here. Okay, and we can make actually have the active link and disabled. So we can add like active to actually want to add it to the link like that. So now you can see that one's active. If we wanted to have it disabled, we could add disabled, and now, whoops, we need to put that on the link. And now that one is grayed out. So that is a card with tabs or navigation. Now another thing we can do is image overlays. So if we wanted to take this content and put it inside the image or have the image as a background, we could do that. So let's go down to where it says image overlays. I'm just using a random image from Unsplash, and basically we can just add a class here of card. Okay, and then for the image, we're going to give that a class of card-img. And if I save that, okay, it's gonna basically the image is now, it's fit within the card, but we want this content over the image. So this div here, let's give a class. This is going to be card-img-overlay. All right, and then we'll just add our standard title. So this will be card-title. And let's do our text. And we can have multiple card text. So this paragraph here, we'll say card text. And then this small tag, all I'm going to do is give this a class of text muted to kind of lighten it a little bit. All right, so if I go ahead and save that, now you'll see the text is over the image, but it's unreadable because it's black. So what I'm going to do is just add up here text-white and save. Okay, and it really depends on the image. I guess you might want it black if the image is really light. Usually you're not going to have a random image if you're building, if you have a project, you're going to have a certain image there. You're going to know what color text to use. All right, so let's see. Let's look at background colors. So this card here has a header. It doesn't have to, but I put one there. So we're just going to say class card and class header. Body. And if you're following along, typing all this out over and over, it's maybe tedious and somewhat boring, but it's drilling into your head the way that these are structured so that you don't have to keep referencing this sandbox, and you'll just know how to do it. Now if I save that, it's just going to give us, whoops, what I do here, I forgot the card dash. So if I wanted to give a background color to this, I could go right here and say bg-primary and save, and now we have a blue background, and I'll probably want to do text white on this like that. Okay, and obviously we can do any color we want. So if I copy this, we'll do two more here. We'll change this one to danger, and we'll change this one to, let's say, info, and save, and we get the different colors. We'll just add a margin bottom 3 here to separate these out a little bit. Okay. And then we can also do outlines. So I'll go ahead and paste this in again, and I'll do bg-outline-primary. Let's see what I do. Oh, you know what? We want to do border-primary. So that gives us this blue border. What am I missing here? Oh, we have text white. We don't want white text. All right, so basically it just gives us like a blue border. We can take the header away. Kind of looks a little weird. So now we just have a blue border, and we can do that obviously with any color. I'm just going to put a margin bottom 3 here. Copy. So we'll do danger, info, and there we go. So now we have some cards with some outline colors. So next let's look at card columns, which is pretty cool. I mean, we can do a lot of stuff. You can put block quotes and images and just text and all kinds of any kind of card you want really in columns, in kind of like a grid, which kind of resembles like the windows like this here. So for this top div that's wrapping everything, we're going to add a class of card-columns. And right away, you'll see that it lines them up in the horizontal fashion. So this next div here is going to be our first card. So we'll say card, and this will be, let's do, for the image, we'll say class equals card image top, which just puts it at the top. And let's also make the image fluid. So it's going to basically fill up whatever container it's in. And then the H4, we'll do card title. Here we'll do class card text. Okay, so that's our first card. I actually forgot the card body right here. All right, so that's that. This next card is going to actually have a block quote. So let's say class card, and that's this right here. Now I want some padding in here, so I'm just going to add a P3, and you'll see that will add the padding. And then this div underneath, we'll get card. And let's see, we're going to do kind of the same thing we did in the first one. So this image will have a class card img top and image fluid. This will be the body. Title. And for this, these paragraphs, let's do card text. Same thing here. And we'll say text muted for the span. All right, then we'll have another block quote. So for this, let's actually give this a background color. So we'll say class equals card, and we'll say card dark, text white, and padding 3. And then let's see, actually the block quotes, there's a class we can use called card dash body quote. And then let's see, this one will have a footer, so we'll actually just leave that. This is a block quote footer. Actually, let's add the class block quote footer. And that should be good. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see, we didn't get the background. Oh, I put card dark. You know what, back in, I think it was Bootstrap Alpha, they actually had the card dash colors. So now they don't have that anymore, so we just do BG. All right, and that's what it looks like. So let's see, the next one. Let's do class. So it's basically just a bunch of cards bunched together, and you can do whatever you want with them. Let's do text center. So we'll center everything. Then we'll do card body. Card text. Okay, so that's that. And then this one here. And let's see, whoops, didn't mean to do that. We just want card. Let's do body. Oops, card body. All right, so basically we're having a block quote inside of an image card. I'm sorry, no, this should be just card. Because this card here, I just want to have an image. And then this one, let's do padding 3, and let's do text right. I'm just kind of twisting things up and showing you that we can do different things. So we'll add class card body quote. Okay, and almost done. I know there's a lot of these. Let's see, card body. Let's actually give this one a background color. So we'll say BG primary. And let's do text white. And there we go. So small. Can't spell. Muted. There we go. All right, so now we can see what a card columns looks like. So it's kind of you know, they're not all the same height, but they're all together. And if I make this bigger, you'll see they'll grow. And if we make this really small, they're going to stack on top of each other. So it's completely responsive. Okay, everything is. If you look at everything we've done in this video, or basically in this course so far, everything is completely responsive. Bootstrap 4 is fantastic for responsiveness in just about everything. All right, so that's about it, guys. In the next video, we're going to take a look at media objects. So basically, kind of, these are used for like news and maybe blog posts, things like that. So we'll take a look at those next.